very good afternoon to you, and welcome to today's edition of Joy Business Masterclass. Masterclass is powered by Joy Business, and Masterclass comes your way every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m., runs all the way through to 2:15 p.m. here on your superstation Joy 99.7. My name is Yaw Anim Barnafo, and I'm glad to be your host for today's edition of Masterclass. Last week and the weeks before that, we ended our conversation on tax. We had our friendly taxman here in the studio with us, Fred Kwashi. I would say, Fred, a very good afternoon to you if you're listening to us, and thank you for sharing all of that information with us in the weeks before last and last week as well. We talked about tax and how it's an obligation for all of us to pay our taxes. I'm sure that in those weeks, the taxman and GRA were very excited that we're educating Ghanaians on the issue of tax. Four things sort of stayed with me in that conversation for those of us who missed it. I'm just going to go through that very quickly. Number one is that tax is backed by law, and every citizen or resident in Ghana must pay their taxes. Number two is that taxes can be classified into two main categories: direct taxes and indirect taxes. And the third thing was also that in Ghana, resident persons or businesses are classified either as resident individuals, resident company, resident trust, or resident partnerships. And the last thing was also that once you're resident in Ghana, whether or not you earn income in Ghana and outside of Ghana, you're liable to tax in Ghana for both revenues or streams of revenue, unless there's a double tax agreement between Ghana and that country. I hope that this information has been helpful to you as a business in Ghana. If you're an entrepreneur, make sure that your books are right, because it's one of the things that the taxman can come after you and it will affect you badly. But otherwise, please pay your taxes. Today we're moving into another area of business. Obviously, business is growing, the terrain is changing, things are happening all over the world, and we're trying to keep up because Ghana is becoming part of the global economy. We're talking today about information security as a business enabler. Oftentimes you hear people talk about information security. First, I think back in the day, about 10 years ago, we used to talk about IT as one big thing, one big department, and now we're talking about specializations. If you said to an IT person today that, what do you do IT, they'll laugh about it because there's software, there's hardware, there's all sorts of things that they do. But we're going to be talking about information security today. And to do that, we have another well-renowned Ghanaian, should I say, mostly Ghanaian professional. I'll explain why I said that very shortly. But let me just quickly go through her resume. She's a highly experienced professional who specializes in providing cybersecurity and IT risk-related services to a diverse range of organizations across the various sectors. These sectors include financial services, manufacturing, telecoms, and information technology. With her extensive background, she's gained expertise in the areas of governance, risk, compliance, cloud security, vulnerability assessment, and penetration testing, as well as the development of cybersecurity strategies. Her CV is very rich. It's one of those ones that when I grew up, I want to be like her. Prior to joining, she works in Deloitte Ghana as a senior manager. And prior to joining Deloitte Ghana, she worked in EcoBank Burundi as in the IT department, providing and supporting core and non-core banking applications. She was later assigned to the audit department. She's a senior manager, cyber risk, Deloitte West Africa, and her name, or the name of my guest for this afternoon's conversation, is Nina Korley. Let's put our hands together for Nina Korley. I'm sure you're putting your hands together because I can hear you do that. But there's something interesting about Nina. Nina has a middle name. I will try to pronounce it. Nina, if I don't pronounce it correctly, please correct me. So it's a four-syllable word, and it's Inshimirimana. Inshimirimana. And this is why in introducing her, I said that she's mostly Ghanaian. She's partly Burundian as well, but very well versed in her field of endeavor. And today she'll be talking to us about cyber security or information security. How relevant is that to your business? You're sitting in Ghana, you're trading, you're importing, you're exporting, you have information every day lying on your tables. You go home and you leave all your documents lying around. You're sitting in the public transport and you're talking on top of your voice in that restaurant. How relevant is that information? We say that today data is gold, and once somebody gets your data, they can do anything with it. There was an interesting one earlier in the year which I heard about identity theft, and the fact that now when you say my name is Yaw Anim Barnafo, it's not enough. They will say, what shows that you are Yaw Anim Barnafo? I have to prove that I am Yaw Anim Barnafo. We'll be listening to all that and trying to learn a bit more about it. But otherwise, Lina, you're welcome to Masterclass. Today we're going to learn from you. So feel free, talk to us. Information security as a business enabler. What do we need to know?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. So, as you mentioned, information security is something that now everyone is talking about. So, I'll try make it simple, taking into consideration that our listeners they fall within different categories.
Correct.
So, if you talked about information security, first of all, what comes into the mind is the practice that you have to protect your information from unauthorized person or modification or distraction. But now it has gone beyond that. This afternoon we are talking about information security as a business enabler.
Right.
So what makes information security a business enabler? So what will make information security a business enabler is the way that you look information security as what solution are you bringing to improve your business, or what kind of solution that you need to get to be able to secure your systems. So once you see that information security as enabler is a solution that will help your business to achieve what they have set. It's the solution that will help you attract more customers. It's the solution that will help you even expand your business beyond your jurisdiction. So once you see that information security as a business enabler is a solution, not a technology, because we're still in the era that people will see information security as a technology. As you said, we used to see IT. Yes, exactly. Correct. But IT, if you look at the purpose of IT, is just to ensure the availability, that wherever you'll be able to have access to your system. But
so the emphasis is not on the systems or the structure of it, but on what it delivers.
Exactly. Right. What is delivered, because if it's IT, it's availability, but information security is beyond that. So as I mentioned, if you look at now information security as a business enabler, that's why we see this time around, you see there was a survey that Deloitte we conducted, and the survey shows that over 70% of the senior management, they have now started considering information security as a business.
Right.
Yeah. Why as a business? Because we are saying what could go wrong. You are trying to mitigate the risk of your data, and everything that comes with risk, it's business. It's no more technical.
Right.
Yeah. So you see now that at the board level, there is evidence of information security as a business enabler, because on a quarterly basis or some organization on monthly basis, they have information security on their agenda.
Right, so essentially, I mean, what we're saying is that if you're a business, you're running your data, let's say even, and I remember at some point when we talked about marketing, I talked about this, that let's say that you're doing very well. Let's say you make shoes or you import, let's say, clothing, apparel. Now you have a certain recipe or a certain formula which you use to deliver your signature on your goods. That becomes your sacred code of some sort.
Exactly.
If anybody gets hold of that, they get hold of your delivery.
Exactly.
It's like Coca-Cola. If anybody gets hold of your formula, it's gone. Yeah. So whatever you are doing, there's some information that is key to what you are doing, which you must protect. And it's not just that one information, but it's all the business information you have, all the decisions. Yeah. Imagine that you're going to make a purchase tomorrow morning and you're on the phone yelling about it, and someone else gets that information.
Yes.
Okay. Nina has obliged us some slides for those of us who want to follow on Facebook. And so we're streaming those slides live on Facebook. Please join us and make some notes as well. We'll get interactive at some point. When we do, you can ask her all the questions that you want to ask her. But Nina, let's go on with the points that you were making. I think you have some slides as well, so maybe we can begin to talk about the information on the slides as well.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That's fine. Yeah. So as I was saying, that information security now is seen as a business enabler. So we have seen that organizations that have embraced that strategy, they are able to do new things. Right. They are able to embark on new innovation, because they have confidence that whatever they will embark in, they'll be able to achieve. Right. So I'll take you back again to the survey that we did as Deloitte. So that survey shows that 86% of executives, they report that information security initiative made a significant positive contribution on at least one of their key business priority. Right. So we can see that there is a benefit. There is some reap that organization can take. For instance, it can increase your brand. So why am I saying so? Because there is no one that would like to do a business with a company that is not serious if it comes to security. Imagine that you are dealing with a company and all of the sudden you see your privacy information, they are out. So how will you take that business?
It's for that reason that some companies, before they share any information with you in any business dealing, will ask you to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Exactly, you are right. So it can also help you attract investors.
Right.
So we have seen that now at Deloitte, if there are new investors that are coming, so they will ask us to do due diligence on them. And one of the key that we have seen that most of them emphasize on is security.
Right.
They want to make sure that the company that they are coming to deal with is more secure. It has taken security as a heart of their business.
There's a question I have.
Okay.
I'll ask now. Don't answer it. Just keep it at the back of your mind.
Okay.
Is the heightened awareness of security the way it is because the world has become a more dangerous place to do business? You don't have to answer that.
Okay.
Now. Later when we get interactive.
All right. So I was saying that there are a lot of benefits
Yeah.
that goes beyond protecting your information. There is a delivering of business value. For instance, once, as I mentioned, once you have taken your security as a heart of your business, you'll be able to embark on new innovation. And you'll be also able to improve your processes or your operation, because we see now that there's new tool like AI or automation. So by taking those tools, you will be able to streamline your processes. And also it can also help you to make your business continuity, to ensure that in any time there is maybe any disaster, you're
Like a fire.
like
or
a fire
flood.
or whatever, so you can continue doing your operation. We saw it last month ago what happened with the internet. So there were people that were able to continue, but not everyone.
Right.
So once you have a robust security in place, it can help you to anticipate those risks and put measures in place.
Right.
Yeah. It can also help you to increase the trust of your customer. As I mentioned earlier, no one would like to deal with a company that does not take security seriously.
Right.
And also we have seen that once there is a trust, you'll be able to attract a lot of customer, and that will translate into the growth of your business.
Yeah.
Because customer brings revenue.
That's correct.
And once you bring revenue, there is also profitability. You see that it has gone beyond like technical issue. It's now business, because it's helping you to generate more revenue. It's helping you to bring new innovation, new products that will attract different category of
So if I understand you clearly, something that hitherto or otherwise was more technical and more technology and structure based is now following the money.
exactly.
And when it follows the money, it becomes relevant to all of us.
To all, oh, you are
because
right.
the money is important.
Yes, yes. Because I can tell you, without business, there is no information security.
Right.
Because if there is no business, what are you protecting?
What are you protecting? Yeah.
So without business, there is no information security. So that's why that information security is helping you to deliver, to do more, acquire more businesses and more revenue. And however, there are still a lot of challenges. Even though it's helping you to grow your business, there are a lot of challenges. Those challenges, we know, as I mentioned earlier, is an evolving landscape. There's a lot of evolving landscape if it comes to cyber threat. So there are new threats that are coming every day. As organization, you have to make sure that, are you ready? Are you aware of the threat that your organization is facing? So there are some that you may know, there are some that you are not know. So how are you able to protect? And also there are a lot of data breach. And once there is data breach, automatically it will have impact on your organization, either your reputation or also your revenue. We have seen also some insider threat. There are some instances that, now people, they complain about economy, whatever. And imagine we have seen it with this war between Russia and Ukraine. So there are some young people now that they want to make quick money. And you have seen that Ukraine or Russia, they were using new young people to make money by training how they can attack organization. Imagine you have someone inside your organization that has not taken care, maybe has not taken into consideration the importance of the security, and he get in contact with those people. It's just for them to give them like 1,000 USD that help me to leak the information, help me to know the weaknesses in your system, how I can penetrate your organization and do bad things.
They'll sell the company.
They'll sell the company. So this is some of the key challenges that organizations are facing when it comes to information security. But however, as challenges, there are also solutions. And also I want to say that now we are in the era of digital transformation. As a country, we always hear that there's digital transformation. Every business now is going more digital. So what does it mean? It means that now the risk is even more high because everything you have put it on internet. Everything is outside there. So how can information security as a business enabler will help you achieve or embark on your digital transformation, having a confidence that you'll be able to achieve what you have set for?
You know, in this same thing you're talking about, I mean, I think that and there's a question I've written down, but because of the fear that this creates about this whole digitization thing, which is, by the way, we don't have a choice. I mean, that's where the world's going. People have often begun to say that, and these are outlier ideas, but in the panic of the vulnerability that it creates, people are saying the best way to be secure is not to be online. I don't know how you're going to do that, but there are people who don't have cell phones.
Yes.
You only send them email.
Yes.
They are not anywhere.
Yes.
You can't find them.
Yes.
It's just a thought that came in, but please let's continue our conversation.
So I was saying that if it comes to digitization, there's no way that any organization will embark on digital transformation without taking into consideration information security.
That's true.
So you see now, you have to start to see information security is expected to play a leading role in company digital transformation initiative. I can just take example maybe of cloud. As you mentioned, everyone is going cloud because of cost saving. So once you go on cloud, you start asking yourself, how am I sure that where I'm going to put my business, the environment is secure?
It's a good question. In fact, it's a question that it resonates with my heart on this whole conversation on cloud. Where is the cloud?
Yes, where is the cloud? Who has access to my information? Who has information to my data?
Yeah.
Or very soon we'll see 5G. 5G too is another thing that you have to take into consideration, information security.
Right.
So you have now data analytics. So all these things, they are the things that if you want to embark on the journey of digital transformation, you cannot do it by separating information security. So it's something that they are now relate, because we have asked company about the way they will see the security is going to play a role into the digital transformation. And every executive was saying that we have to take the information security as a business, not as a technology. But however, we still see a lot of company that, or even a lot of executives, they are still seeing information security as the IT problem that need to be solved through acquisition of a technology.
Change is difficult.
Yeah, change is very difficult. Yeah. So how can you treat now information security as a business decision? It means that you have to see information security as a decision. It's a choice. You can choose to accept it, to take it as a business enabler, or you can choose to continue seeing as an IT problem.
So you have to be intentional about it. You
have to be intentional about it. And you see organization that has make difference if it comes to information security as a business enabler is the organization that have a different thinking. They think differently. They have gone to another era. And also you have to make sure that information security as a business enabler, it requires investment.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that is cheap. it requires investment. And there's someone who said that if it's come to security, there are two options. You can choose to pay now and pay later, or you can choose to pay now and pay later.
Either ways you pay.
Yeah, either ways you pay.
Yeah.
And depending on the way that you choose, the pay may be very painful. And also you have to see it that not just investing, there have to be a balance. Why are you maybe acquiring this solution, security solution?
What are the threats
What
that
are the
bedevil you at your level where you are?
Yeah, even that, go beyond that. What is the problem that you are trying to solve?
Exactly.
Because now you see some of the InfoSec guys, they like these nice tools. You hear, oh, this
they
new
like new toys.
Exactly. So everyone will go into a company. Okay, there's this new tool to help us to do monitoring. But you ask yourself, what is really trying to solve?
What are you monitoring?
Yeah. Is it just a nice to have, or there is a problem that we are solving?
Yeah.
So you just to go beyond that, make sure that that investment that you are doing is trying to solve a problem.
Yeah.
And also there have to be a governance that will help leaders to make the right decision. So there are also some instances that with the InfoSec they'll come that we need to make investment, but the leadership will say no, there's no money. But you know that you are trying to reduce a risk. In that circumstances, what need to be done? There have to be agreement that, okay, I have seen a problem that can jeopardize your business objective. And I believe as information security advisor, because now you see some CEO, they have new guys that they call information security advisor. Every time they want to embark on a project, they seek their advice. So we can say, okay, this is what I want to do, but I have seen the risk that can prevent you achieve what you want to do. Yeah. So, and I believe I need this solution. They'll say, no, it's expensive. You say, okay, no problem. What you have to do, document that, because the time something will happen, the CEO will not come say that I did not get a good advisor for my information security advisor.
The CEO can still come and say, you did not let me understand it the way.
No, in that way, that's what I'm saying, that there have to be a governance. Yeah. It has to be documented. Yeah. You say, I have seen this risk. That was the solution. However, based on ABCD, we choose not to adopt.
But I also want to add that it shouldn't be just documenting it, but it's making a spirited recommendation.
A recommendation,
beyond
exactly.
your capacity. Let your CEO understand to the best of your ability, with all scenarios and examples, that it is needed. If beyond that, the decision is not to do it, then it becomes a different conversation. Yeah. But you owe it to your CEO to try and help him to understand.
Yeah. And try not to use some technical term. I think that is why sometimes we see a lot of issue when it comes to information security guys present at the board. Yeah. You see, you are with a CFO. It will be a time for CFO to present. Everyone will clap because you say, oh, we're supposed to make the revenue 10,000 and we're able to achieve it. You bring maybe a marketing guys who say we're supposed to do, but information security guy, they'll come. You see, okay, there was no attack. So everyone will they will not appreciate. Yeah. There was no attack, but know that maybe you were able to prevent maybe 10,000 attempts. But because you did not make that communication.
And those attempts, were they successful, would have affected here and here and here. Exactly. It would have affected this revenue line and that revenue line. Yes. So the savings indirectly is based on this and that. Therefore, return on investment based on what you've done is that.
Exactly.
And they'll clap for you.
I think that is where we need to move. Yeah. Yes.
I see most technology guys, their communication needs help, isn't it?
But I think
they can't really communicate well.
But we think
technology guys, please forgive me.
I think now there have been a lot of improvements. Yes, because now they see it as a business, not as a technical position. Yes, now you can see they have a mind of business. That is why some CEO now are appointing information security advisor. So they are not really appointing you because you are too technical, because they think that you know the business. Because there's no way that you can advise if you don't know the business, because you even have to ask, what are our revenue, what is the next project that we want to embark, what is maybe the next company that we need to acquire,
because that's where the world is going.
Exactly.
You have so much information, but I want our listeners to be a part of this conversation. So we're going to take a quick message from our sponsors and a quick break. When we come back, we get interactive.
Thank you.
Your favorite on-air business development program, Joy Business Masterclass, is in session, and you can interact with us on Facebook via the Joy 99.7 FM or Joy Business pages. If you tweet, the handle is at Joy 997 FM or at Joy Business GH. Don't forget to hashtag JB Masterclass. You can also call us on 0302 216541 or send your questions and contributions through to the WhatsApp number 0551 111997, and our facilitators will address your concerns. Attention everyone, class is in progress.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
If you're suffering from conditions like arthritis, autoimmune diseases, stroke, diabetes, viral infections, knee, body, skeletal pain, and more, at German Ozone Medical Center, your well-being is our top priority. With skilled professionals and top-notch services, we offer a wide range of ozone therapy services, including IV therapy, steam ozone sauna, and gas injection therapy. Additionally, we provide ozone beauty treatments like PLP facials, microneedling, and comprehensive dental services, including digital Hollywood zirconium, clear aligners, and implants. We are conveniently located at Abelinkwe Junction, opposite Allied Heights. Call us now on 0550 242222 or 0550 252222.
German Ozone Medical Center, alternative therapy, dental, beauty, and wellness.
Welcome back. If you've just tuned in, this is Masterclass. We're interactive right now. Numbers to call 0302 216 541. That's 0302 216 541. You can also send us your comments on WhatsApp on 055 997. We're here in the studio with Nina and Shiriminimana Korley, who's a senior manager risk advisory Deloitte Ghana, and we're talking about information security as a business enabler. You've heard the phrase before, information security. You probably don't know what it means, or you do, and you're using it and it's helping. Life is too short to make all the mistakes ourselves. Pick up that phone, give us a call on 0302 216 541, or send us your comments on 055 111997 so that we can all learn and become better for it. Again, numbers to call 0302 216 541. If you're driving, please do not text while you drive, because we definitely want you to arrive alive. But otherwise, send us a message on 055 11997. Nina, while we're waiting for the phone lines to ring, I have a few questions, but maybe you want to finish the point that you were making.
Yes. So in all, what you can take away is that the future of information security and the future of business are intertwined. How you embed information security thinking and planning and action into all your business initiative will determine the influence of the success of your business.
Right. I like how you ended it, but we have not ended yet. I'll come back for your final comments. But I have a quick question, though. I know we have some comments on social media, on WhatsApp, which will be coming pretty soon. I'll be getting the messages on the console very soon. But I have a few questions which I want to ask. And when you talk about information security, I'm a business in Ghana. I'm an importer. Let's say I'm into fast-moving commodities and goods, and I'm importing stuff, and I have a lot of items. A couple of words jump out at me: passwords, firewalls, cloud security, filing safes. They're jumping out at me. What do they mean? Before you answer that, though, I think I have a caller on the line. Let's do that first. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass. Your name and where
Good
you're calling
afternoon, boss. I hope you're doing well.
I'm well, thank you. Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
Ajima Joseph from tonight, man.
My brother, how are you?
I'm fine. I hope you're also doing well.
Brilliant, brilliant. Talk to me. What do you have for me today?
Yeah, this is one of the most important aspects of business we are discussing, and I'm glad to be part of it.
Right.
I know when you talk about security for business, it's very broad. I don't know whether today you started with the aspect of security that we should keep things secret, so that something that you are trying to manage with a company will remain with a company, but not outside. And also, I want to know, are you going to treat the internal aspect of security some other time? Because I have a lot to share in terms of external security and also dealing with people, especially customers and visitors.
Okay, so Admiral Joseph, do me this favor while you're on the line. Share one thing with us so that your fellow businessmen can learn from it that you are doing in terms of information security for your business. One thing, just one thing.
Yeah, for me, I'm working with a private security company and render services to other business entities.
Right.
And one thing I want to share here is the relationship between security and the customers and the clients.
Right.
But they normally say that the customer is always right. But sometimes you meet a lot of customers who are, excuse my word, not seem to be disciplined. And there should be a coordination. A business owner should let the customer or the visitor aware that we are giving the security the mandate how for them to go about things, especially when you talk about searching or entry or some other places that you need to pass. You should not use this entrance, sit here, don't use this gate or whatever. But the customer seems to be having difficulties and problems with the security, whereby the business owner should explain things to the visitor for them to understand the work of security so that there will be sanity at the business place.
Right. I think that's very important. Please keep listening. Thank you for the comment there. So we've learned from your experience, the interdependence between security, customer service, and all that. I suppose that the conversation today focuses a bit more on information security, the data that you work with. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass. My next caller is on the line. You're welcome to Masterclass. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon. My name is Kojo Macron. I'm calling from North Legon.
From North Legon?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my brother. Talk to me.
From North Legon. I have been enlightened by your guest.
Right.
He knows what he's talking about. And I think that she should continue the advocacy. I think she'll bring her next week to keep letting people know what's happening. And I think this goes to the decision makers in organizations to know how important such offices are.
Right, Kojo.
Thank you so much.
Kojo, thank you so much for calling. Please keep listening. My producer is smiling at the point where he said you should bring her next week. So I'm sure it means something. Numbers to call 0302216541. Information security as a business enabler. What's been your experience? What data do you work with? How do you value that data? Do you just leave it lying around? Do you keep it safe? Pick up that phone, give us a call. Let's learn something together today for our businesses. It's not just the money you're putting in. It's not just the investment. It's not just everything else you do. But it's also the data you work with. How valuable is that data? Numbers to call again, 0302216541. You can send us your comments on 05511111997. So those were a few calls commending the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
These words jump out at me. Passwords, firewalls, cloud security, filing safes. What role do they play in this conversation on information security? Just very briefly, if you will.
Okay. First of all, if it's come to firewall, it's like, I'll give example of your house.
Yes.
You have a house, you have the main gate.
Right.
So you have put a security guy there. What is his role? Is to make sure that everyone who need to enter in your house is allowed.
Right.
Firewall is something that will protect your organization. Every information that comes, the firewall will check. Is this person allowed to come to my house? Is this person allowed to come maybe from, you may put some road that you say that I don't want people maybe from East Legon to visit me.
Right.
So there'll be a lot of rule that you have put in the firewall.
I don't want people from this part, and when they come, they shouldn't be more than 2 minutes.
2 minutes, yes. So it will check, are you allowed to enter? And it will let you. If it notices that you are not allowed, it will block you.
And not allow it.
And not allow you.
Right. Passwords. How about passwords?
So the password is something that you need to protect because it gives you access to your information.
Brilliant.
If someone have access to your password, it means that he have access to your entire information.
Please, a word of caution. For those of you who use the same password for everything, repent. Nina, what do you have to say about that? Some people say, I will forget. In fact, I've been a victim before. I've stood at an ATM and used the password for another car twice. The second attempt, they said, this is your last attempt. Then I remember that I was using... But there are too many passwords. Password on your phone, password on this, password on that. How do you manage all that?
So I get your frustration. It's something that most of people experience. So if it comes to, because you see, you have a lot of maybe a lot of application or a lot of website that you need to connect. What you can do, you can still use maybe not one password, maybe change few things. The characters. Just change something.
Alphanumeric.
Yeah, alphanumeric or whatever, to the extent that it's not totally different. Yes.
So it can be the same thing, but it's the symbols.
Yes, but make sure also it's complex.
Right.
Because if it's a simple password, hackers, they are very good to be able to
So the more
crack,
complex it is,
yes, the more difficult it will make it for anyone to guess it or to have access on it.
Talk to us about the importance of information security to an individual, i.e. identity theft, things like that.
So the importance of information security as individual.
To an individual.
Yeah. So as individual, you hold information.
Correct.
And those information you hold it may be somewhere. They can be your health, even the smart watch,
bank details on your phone,
details on your phone,
hospital records.
Yes, those they are key valuable information. So you need to protect it. That is why there is a lot of misinterpretation or misconception. People they'll think that my phone, I don't have any valuable information, so I don't need to protect it. But it's not true, because all of us, we have our bank details on our phone.
We are living on our phones.
We are living on our phone. So it's something that you have to make sure that is protected. Because it's hold everything that's concerning you. Yes.
And you can be blackmailed. People can get information. You can be held to ransom. People know that there's money in your account. They can follow you to the bank. It can be anything.
Yes. I think we have been hearing all this story about MTN, this fraudulent, the kind of thing that they do. So it just said that you have to be aware. You have to take security as something that is important to you.
Important to you. Right. How does a small business who's listening to us this afternoon understand and saturate the information and take the necessary steps? I mean, we're sharing the information so they will hear. But when they have heard, let's say that it's a bag manufacturer sitting in the middle of Accra listening to us, but they've got importers for raw materials. They've got people they buy raw materials from and people they sell to, customer information, where they are, their business locations, bank details for transfers and all that. What does a business like that do to protect them? Maybe the person listening to us keeps all that information on their phone. They're sitting in Makola. They don't have a computer. Nobody's working on any systems for them. All that information is on their phone. What are some of the recommendations we can give them to make their processes better in terms of information security?
The first thing I can give recommendation, if it's a company that can afford maybe one of the consulting firm like Deloitte, you can bring us in so we can advise you.
Right.
So we'll look at, first of all, if it comes to information, the asset, we'll look at what do you do. The information that you are acquiring, what kind of information? Where is it coming from? Where do you store it? Once we have this register that has all these things, we'll be able to advise you on the right control, on the right measures that you need to put in place. So what our advice, just seek...
Get help. And I'm sure that someone listens to this and say, hey, can I pay Deloitte's money? But you see, the thing is, the question you should be asking is, can you afford the loss that may arise out of failing to protect your information?
Exactly.
Because sometimes somebody will just hijack everything.
Yes.
And it will cost you more money than it would have cost you to just pay a consultant to help you to manage your business.
It even affects your reputation. Maybe your customer will start leaving you and go to your competitor. Because information security, you can also take it as competitive advantage.
As we're talking, I'm remembering some of the cyber fraud issues that were reported where people got people's personal information and did video editing for very compromising videos and started to blackmail them with that. It's all part of information security,
it's
isn't
all
it?
part, And interesting, very soon we'll enter in the era of quantum. So what hackers they are doing now, there's a method that I call now steal now and sell later.
Steal now
and sell later. Because they believe that with the quantum solution, a computer, it will be able to crack this encryption.
Right.
So people now are stealing information, even though they are encrypted. They are stealing it.
They're stealing it
Yes.
in encrypted form.
In encrypted form, hoping that as soon as quantum system goes out, they'll be able to crack the encryption and have the information.
It's frightening,
Yes.
And it leads me to my next question, but I think I'm asking all the questions. I've still got a few more minutes on the show. Phone lines are still open. Numbers to call 0302216-541. That's 0302216-541. Or send us your comments on 05511119997. We're talking about information security as a business enabler. How do you understand it? How is it applied in your business setting? What are you doing to protect your information? How do you keep your data safe? What are the things that you're doing? Let's all learn from it and become better for it. 0302216-541 or 05511119997. When you were presenting, I said something about the fact that the world is going digital and we don't have a choice. So we have to comply because that's where the world is going anyway.
Yes.
COVID has even, it has catapulted this thing even more here in this part of the world. So we're there. We don't have a choice.
Yes.
But how do we address the issue of vulnerability? It's like the bad guys are always ahead. Apple came with this thing, so now it's facial recognition and all of that. But people are still able to hack it somehow. How do we get protected as individuals, as businesses, with this rising technology all around us and everything?
Okay, so as business, that's why it's advised that you do like vulnerability assessment. Maybe I don't want to use that technical word.
No,
so that's why you need to do
vulnerability assessment is check how vulnerable you are.
Yes, exactly.
Check how weak you are. Check how open you are.
You need to check the weaknesses in your system, the weaknesses in your environment.
Yeah.
So once you see those weaknesses, you'll be able to know what step you need to take to be able to protect yourself.
I'm thinking of something
and
very
that's
wild.
why and also
Finish
it's a
your point.
continuous monitoring. Security is not something that you do today and you think you are secure. No, you have to do continuous monitoring. Continuous monitoring to make sure that you may fix a weaknesses now, but in few hours there may be another weaknesses, because you see now there's a lot of ransom data coming, there's a lot of threat data coming. So you have to do continuous checking your environment. Make sure that every weaknesses that is there, depending on also you can find the weaknesses, but there's no a threat. If there's a weaknesses, there's no threat, that one you are okay, because there will not be anything to exploit that vulnerability. But if you see a weaknesses and there's a threat to exploit that vulnerability, you have to make sure that you protect yourself. But also you have to do a balance between because protection comes with a cost. What is the cost of protecting myself and what will be the benefit?
Okay, just for our own education, what are some of the threats or attacks, i.e. viruses, processes? So I'm not saying process, I'm talking about phishing, I'm talking about Trojan horses, malware, ransomware. Just go through a few of them for us. I mean, not very technical, but just so that somebody would have heard it for the first time on Masterclass. And so next time they hear it, they know what it is.
There is ransomware, as you said,
yes,
where someone will try to hack your system and hold it. They'll say that before I can release it, you have to do a payment. So it's like you are out.
So somebody can enter your system
and
hold
take
you
control.
ransom, take control
from
outside of the company.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And others, you can do a virus. Maybe you can input virus in any of the documents. Once I send the document and you are able to open it, maybe to have some malicious, it will just start executing those values.
So as an advice, if you're a business owner, somebody sends you an attachment, an invoice, a document, make sure it's safe. Don't just open it, because it can be a source of
so
attack.
That's why there is now some solution that will check before even you receive your email. It will check the document that has been attached to make sure that it's not malicious, it's safe. Yes.
Right.
And also there's this phishing, maybe someone will call you, Nina, I work with Deloitte, or I have forgotten maybe the password, blah, 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 blah. And he will try gain your trust.
Information from you.
From you. Yes.
So be careful who you talk to.
Be careful who you talk to. Because that's why even now in technology there's a zero trust. Don't trust anybody. For instance.
It used to be trust but verify, but now we say don't trust.
Don't trust, eh?
Wow.
The first thing, don't trust. Verify first.
Trust is gone.
Yeah, trust is gone. Because we live in the world that is very dangerous.
Right.
Yes.
So always be careful. But what do you say to people employees of companies who talk about company business in public places?
So
inadvertently. Yeah, it's not deliberate, but they're talking in a public place. How does that become a threat to the company?
It's a threat because you don't know who is around you, listening to you. And also, depending on the information that you are putting out, you may put information that even though I get that information, it may not help me to do anything.
I'll tell you something funny that happened. It was a joke in this country. You know, we used to buy scratch cards.
Okay.
So somebody bought a scratch card sitting in a public transport and was calling his mother to mention the numbers on the scratch card so her mother would punch it in. There was somebody else sitting in the trotro. So he says, Mommy, I've bought a scratch card. It's 50 CDs. Here is a number 19243. By the time you finish messaging, somebody had loaded it. The mother loaded it 2 seconds later. They said, it's not working.
Yes.
So the information, right?
Yeah, it's all the information. Especially you may share some information about your organization that hackers that can try to use it to see if they can exploit and get further information.
Right.
Yes.
It's very important because people.
That's why you need to do a lot of awareness. Make sure that people understand the sensitivity of information.
Right.
What kind of information are you allowed to talk into public? And also look at the people around you and be conscious. We just have to be conscious, security conscious people.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about device handling? Maybe that's the last one. Device handling. If you're handling official devices and you take them home to work, why should you restrict access to those devices?
So you should restrict access to those devices because, for instance, even if you take your laptop in your house and you connect, the modem that you connect, you don't know how secure it is. So you have to make sure that it's protected because you may connect, you may attract some viruses, and tomorrow you take it to the organization network. Depending of the maturity of your organization, there may be some that will be able to track it. But there may be some that they haven't matured, that their level of security is low. So you may go and affect others.
The last one I want to talk about, public Wi-Fi. People love free Wi-Fi. Hotel Wi-Fi, airport Wi-Fi, train station Wi-Fi. Why is it dangerous?
So it's dangerous. So I can relate your question to, I remember Deloitte, we did a seminar. Right. That was, I think, 3 years ago. It was at Alisa. We were just want to educate the public about the information security. What we did, the guy who did the presentation was, he set up the Wi-Fi and he said, let's see who connect. He make it free. In the less than 2 minutes, we got a lot of people connected into it. He was a hacker. He was even able to hack some of the people. And we just showed them screenshots. So you have to be conscious because you don't know how secure it is. You cannot just see something because it's free, you jump on it. There are a lot of security consciousness that we need to take in.
Right.
Yeah.
We should just go back to writing letters. Nina, your final comments, and then that's what time will allow us. 30 seconds. What should we remember from this conversation if we remember nothing at all?
So if I remember nothing at all, is that now information security as a business is something that we can take seriously into the heart of our business because it will help us to drive the success of our company, and also making sure that also the customers that does business with us are more educated.
Thank you very much for those thoughts. Nina Nshimirimana Korley, Senior Manager, Risk Advisory, Deloitte Ghana, sharing some information with us on information security as a business enabler. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you same time next week.
Thank you.